This video will provide an example of a typical unemployment insurance hearing. Its purpose is to help you better understand the hearings process so that you can be well prepared for your upcoming hearing. During the hearing, an administrative law judge, or ALJ, will guide you through the procedure and help each side present their best case. Then the ALJ will make a decision on the case. As this video shows, most unemployment hearings are conducted over the telephone. Watch this video and the second video, Essential Information for Your Unemployment Benefits Hearing, so that you can make sure that you are well prepared and know what to expect.
Good morning. This is Administrative Law Judge Todd Logan. Is the claimant, Peggy Pinstripe, on the line?
I'm here.
Is there someone representing the employer, Ned's Donuts, on the line?
Ned Newberry of Ned Donuts here.
This is the time set for hearing in case number U12345, the matter of Peggy Pinstripe. As I mentioned, my name is Todd Logan. I'm an administrative law judge with the Office of Administrative Hearings. I'm hearing this case as an independent decision maker for the Oregon Employment Department. I'm making a recording of this hearing so that I have an accurate record of the hearing. Now, Ms. Pinstripe, do you have any witnesses with you today?
No, I don't, but I have this piece of paper that I sent you last week. Did you get it?
I'll go over the documents in a minute, Ms. Pinstripe. Mr. Newberry, do you have any witnesses today?
No.
We are here today because the claimant, Ms. Pinstripe, appealed the Employment Department's decision that she was discharged for misconduct. In a discharge case, it is the employer's burden to demonstrate that the discharge was for misconduct. During the hearing today, I'll take testimony from each of you in turn. I'll do that simply by swearing you in and asking you some questions. I'll begin by asking Mr. Newberry some questions, and then after that, he'll have an opportunity to tell me any additional information that he thinks is important to his case. Then Ms. Pinstripe will have an opportunity to ask Mr. Newberry questions. Following that, we'll go through the same procedure with Ms. Pinstripe. I'll ask her some questions after swearing her in, and Ms. Pinstripe will have a chance to tell me anything she feels is important after I've done asking her questions. Then Mr. Newberry will have a chance to ask Ms. Pinstripe questions of his own. After that, you will each have an opportunity to tell me anything else you think is relevant about the case. After the hearing, I will review the testimony and any exhibits that have been admitted into the record, and that'll be the basis on which I make a decision. After I've done that, I will mail a written hearing decision to each of the parties about a week after the hearing. Now, let's talk about the documents.
The scene you just witnessed is the beginning of a typical unemployment benefits hearing. As you can see, the administrative law judge will give you a brief overview of the hearings process before you give your testimony. If you don't understand something or if you have questions, ask the administrative law judge.
Ms. Pinstripe, you mentioned that you had sent in a document to me for the hearing, and I have your exhibit here. It is a bill from a towing company. I've marked the document as exhibit number 1. Ms. Pinstripe, did you send a copy of this document to the employer?
Yes, I sent it to him last week.
Mr. Newberry, do you have a copy of this document?
Yes, I do. I got it a few days ago.
Mr. Newberry, do you have any objection to my admitting this exhibit into evidence?
No, I don't.
All right. Exhibit number 1 will be admitted into evidence.
Here, Peggy is well prepared for her hearing. She read the notice of hearing and decided that she needed to send her towing bill to the administrative law judge and the employer. Peggy sent a copy of her documents to the ALJ and the employer several days in advance of the hearing. If you have written evidence you want to use in the hearing, you must provide copies of those documents to the administrative law judge and the other party before the hearing, with enough time for the documents to arrive. The other party's names and addresses are listed on the notice of hearing. If you submit documents for the hearing, make sure that you include your name and your case number along with the documents so they can be correctly identified. We recommend sending a cover sheet that has your name and case number along with your documents. Keep in mind that the ALJ does not have copies of documents that were sent to the Employment Department. If you want the ALJ to consider any information, you must send it to the ALJ and the other party before your hearing. If you have witnesses that you believe should testify for your case, you must make sure that they are available to testify during the hearing. The best way is just ask them to be with you during the hearing so that the ALJ can call them as a witness.
Mr. Newberry, would you please raise your right hand? Under penalty of perjury, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the evidence you give in this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Newberry, what is your position at Ned's Donuts?
I'm the general manager and owner.
And did Ms. Pinstripe begin working for Ned's Donuts on October 30th of 2006?
Yes, she did.
What was the last day that she worked there?
Her last day was May 15th, 2010. That was the day I fired her.
Well, why did you discharge Miss Pinstripe?
She showed up late. How can I run my business if my employees don't show up to work on time?
It wasn't my fault I was late.
Now, Ms. Pinstripe, I do want to hear your side of the story too, but you'll need to wait. Right now, I'm taking Mr. Newberry's testimony.
Remember not to interrupt. The administrative law judge will make sure that each side gets a fair hearing. You may find it helpful to take notes during the hearing so that you can keep track of the important information you want to tell the ALJ when it is your turn.
Now, Mr. Newberry, do you know why she was late on May 15th?
She made an excuse about her car. I fired her on the spot. I told her to get her things and get out. Looking back, I guess I may have been a little bit harsh, but I was frustrated. I have to show up to work on time. People depend on me, you know?
Well, had Ms. Pinstripe been late to work before May 15th?
Yeah, she sure was. She was late a few days the week before I fired her. In fact, I gave her a warning one day.
Do you know which days she was late?
Let me look at my calendar. Peggy was late May 3rd and May 4th.
Do you know why she was late on those days?
No, I don't. But I gave her a written warning on May 4th when she showed up late the second time.
Now, Mr. Newberry, does Ned's Donuts have an attendance policy?
We sure do. I give all the new employees an employee handbook on their first day. It clearly says right there that you need to show up to work on time.
Did you give Ms. Pinstripe a copy of the employee handbook?
Of course. I gave her one when I filled out her new hire paperwork on her first day of work. She signed for it that day.
Mr. Newberry, is there anything else that you think I should know about?
No, that about covers it.
Ms. Pinstripe, are there any questions that you would like to ask Mr. Newberry?
No, I just want to tell you what happened.
Well, Ms. Pinstripe, would you please raise your right hand? Under penalty of perjury, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the evidence you give in this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Ma'am, what was your job at Ned's Donuts?
I was a baker. I made donuts, coffee cake, muffins, and cinnamon rolls.
And when you started working there, did you get a copy of the employer handbook?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand that you were expected to report to work on time?
Of course I did. I have an excellent work ethic, despite what Mr. Newberry may think.
Well, Ms. Pinstripe, can you tell me what happened on May 15th?
Well, I got up as I normally do, and I got ready for work. I left the house, and I started to drive to work. About halfway there, I stopped at a stop sign. I looked left and right, and I didn't see anything, so I started through the intersection. Out of nowhere, this SUV drove into the side of my car. He didn't have his lights on, and he just plowed right into me. I was lucky that I had my seatbelt on. Anyway, I stopped, of course, and we got out and exchanged our information. Then I called my insurance company, and they called a towing company. The tow truck came and got my car. That's what the bill I sent you shows. It's my tow bill from that day.
What happened after that?
Well, I had the tow truck take my car to the service station, and then I got the bus to work. When I got there, Ned fired me. He just told me to get packing.
Did you call Ned's Donuts to let them know that you were running late to work?
I tried to. I called them, but at that time in the morning, there isn't anyone in the office. They come in at 8, and this was at about 4:45.
Ms. Pinstripe, were you late to work on May 3rd and May 4th?
Yes, I was late to work those days. My son had the flu, and I had to call my mother-in-law to come over and watch him because he couldn't go to daycare. Since he was sick. My mother-in-law came over to our house to watch him, but I couldn't leave my son alone before she got here. Anyway, yes, I was late, but I stayed later on those days to make up for the time. Plus, I was only about 10 minutes late.
Ms. Pinstripe, is there anything else that you think I should know about?
No, that's it.
Mr. Newberry, do you have any questions for Ms. Pinstripe?
No, I don't have any questions for her.
Well, Mr. Newberry, is there anything else you'd like to tell me?
No, that's it. I just wanted to tell you why I fired her.
Well, Ms. Pinstripe, is there anything else that you'd like to tell me?
No, thank you.
Well, if there's no other information, then at this point I'm going to close the record and end the hearing. As I mentioned earlier, it will be about a week before you each receive a copy of my written hearing decision in the mail. So that'll be all for today. Thank you, and I hope each of you has a nice day.
As you can see, the administrative law judge will make sure that each party has a full and fair hearing. The ALJ will ask each witness questions, and each party can tell the ALJ anything else that may be helpful or important. Each party will also have a chance to ask additional questions. And finally, the ALJ will check with each party to see if there is anything else to add before the hearing is adjourned. Here, both Peggy and Ned were well prepared for their hearing. They called in on time and they were ready to proceed. They both stuck to the facts and each did a good job in the hearing. A few points to keep in mind as you prepare for your hearing. Read over the information in the notice of hearing carefully. Make sure you are organized. If you have witnesses or documents for the hearing, make sure that you have your witnesses with you to testify and that you submit your documents to both parties before the hearing. Make sure you know the facts well and have some paper and pen with you to take notes. Listen carefully to the administrative law judge. Ask him or her for an explanation if there is something you don't understand. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Essential Information for Your Unemployment Benefits Hearing. We hope that you find these videos helpful to you in preparing for your hearing.